Welcome back, everybody, to College Recruiting with Jill Hicks. And today we're going to talk about, are you a 2026 with no official visit offers yet, or even unofficial? So first of all, I just want to say, do not stress. Number one, you've got to not worry. This happens a lot with some really strong recruits down the road. So it may not be you that's getting the official visit offers, but you can and will probably still get recruited. It may just look a little different. Number two, remember, some schools are still finishing 2025s. Those are usually the lower ranked teams or mid-ranked teams. Sometimes they don't like to get started with recruiting until they're completely done with those 2025s, for example. So they don't move as quickly. Remember, some schools also don't have this huge, large budget to do a lot of official visit offers. So again, they move a little slower. Number three, some college coaches hold scholarships to recruit somebody a little later. So that could be you. So let's say they have 3 scholarships. They might go after 2 recruits right now, and then they'll hold one for a late bloomer. Number 4, right now, the 2026 girls are typically the ones getting recruited are your elites. And I heard there's about 27 of those, and your very highest of level 10s. So who are those? Those are usually girls who have competed level 10 for a few years. They have 10.0 start values on all 4 events, and they have scored really well and been pretty consistent. So a lot of them will announce when they go on their visits right now on social media and their decisions. But remember, if that's not you, recruiting does go on all the way through to your senior year. So think of it a little bit like this. There are tiers to recruiting for every sport. So sometimes they call them the blue chip recruits. That would be your highest tier athletes in your sport. So in gymnastics, it would be the, like I said, elites, and also the very highest of level 10s who have competed level 10 multiple years and scored pretty high. Then there's the medium tier. So those might be some strong level 10s, but they may not have 10.0 start values on all 4 events. And then there's lower tier, and sometimes those are, end up being walk-ons. So there's different tiers, and just because you're a level 10 doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get recruited along the same path as maybe a level 10 who's been at that level for a long time. Everybody's different. Everyone has different strengths, and we see all different types of level 10s get recruited to college in a different pathway. So this whole idea of being offered, multiple visits right now, official visits where they're paid for, parents are flying in with their athlete, and they're going to football games, and you're seeing it all online. Be happy for those girls. They've worked really hard to get to that point, but it doesn't mean that's what your recruiting is going to look like. All right. So what will recruiting look like for 2026s who don't have any official visit offers yet? Maybe number 1, you've had surgery or you've had some injuries. So the coach may be speaking with you through emails or phone calls or text messages, but they're just waiting for you to add in your upgrades or return on all 4 events. Usually if you've had surgery or you've been injured, they're going to wait to see what your reality will look like once you come back. So sometimes you can show them enough between like November to January in the gym. Other times they're going to say, I want to see you compete in a few meets before they'll actually bring you out on a visit. And you can go on visits all year. Okay. They typically don't do a ton of that during their seasons because which is January through like May, because they're so busy traveling, and it's just a whole different schedule, and it just isn't as fun, and the girls aren't as freed up because they're so busy training for their own competition season. But doesn't mean they don't do them. It just, they do them a little bit different. Number two, if you are new to level 10 and you're a 2026 and you look like you're going to be a strong level 10, they might be waiting for you to compete and put all your upgrades in your routines. So you might get recruited again to a very strong team, but it might not be till after January. Number three, you may need some time just to show them better form or better consistency. That's sometimes why they don't bring out girls to official visits right now. They wait until you can improve some of those things. In all three of those cases, your recruiting or visits may not happen till after January of 2025. Again, don't worry, don't stress, and don't panic. It's just a different way and look in regards to a recruiting path. You're still going to get there. You're still going to have opportunities. I know it can feel like you're missing the boat, or they're going to give out all their scholarships. And yeah, a lot of schools will be done. That happens all the time. But that's just their prerogative. They can do that. But I'm telling you, recruiting is like a up and down roller coaster ride. You have to look at your situation, stay in your lane, keep improving, keep doing what they're asking you to do, and stay on top of it and stay positive. Okay. Then we have the whole NCAA lawsuit and how that's impacting teams and roster spots. So roster limits, basically. So number one, coaches are not wanting to add any extra girls to their team or other sports boys really as fast as they would have before, when they didn't have the pressure to have a roster limit. So that is causing some of them maybe to wait until that information comes out. Number two, coaches may want to see what their current team for 2025 is really going to look like before they really start bringing girls out for official visits or making offers for all their scholarships. We just don't know. Number three, coaches need to hear directly from their athletic directors as to the true dollar amount that they're going to have for these new roster spots. So then they know what they're dealing with, basically. So a lot of them are waiting for those meetings to happen. And we're all waiting for the judge in Northern California to make some final decisions on the NCAA lawsuit. So what should you be doing if you are a 2026 and you have not been offered any visits yet? Number one, keep communicating. Number two, ask coaches what they need to see from you specifically. So there's a reason you're not getting those official visit offers. Maybe it's the lower tier schools that don't actually have the budget and don't like to recruit 26s right now, for example, and you are one of their top tier recruits. Sometimes coaches even wait for those top tier girls to get picked up or not, and then they go after top tier girls. So there's some of that happening. But you want to keep communicating. If you're in communication with coaches, or get in communication with coaches, emails, text messages, phone calls are all really important if you're a 2026 and you're reaching out to the right level of school. Now, you might be reaching out to schools that aren't going to be your right fit. And so you may need to start looking at lower ranked teams. That's a possibility if you're not getting visits and you've had a lot of years at level 10, you've been pretty consistent, you might be reaching a bit too high. That's something also I would recommend you evaluate. Also, you can visit campuses on your own. You can ask college coaches. Now, they don't like to overlap visits, so they don't want people on their campus who aren't a part of the official visit weekend because they won't have time for you. I'm just saying it is a good time if you can hop on a plane or drive in your car just to get on the college campuses that you think I could have a shot at this school after I hit my upgrades, start competing and doing a great job. You may want to, just think about that. Also, the fall clinics are happening right now. You could have a big impact on your recruiting movement and move up, in their tier level of evaluation by going to a fall clinic that you are having good communication and you feel like I just need to show them, some of what I'm capable of that I wasn't doing maybe last season. That's something to consider. Prepare. The biggest thing is stay in your lane, stay positive. Super hard to do right now when you're seeing all these people post stuff and seeing girls commit. But stay in your lane, work really hard in the gym, figure out where your weaknesses are and focus on those. So if you need to clean up your routines, you need to add in upgrades, you need to work on your execution, you need to be stronger fitness wise. Maybe it's nutrition related. Maybe you're fatigued. Be honest with yourself. Figure out where's your weak spots. We all have them. And, this is your time to work really, really hard so that you can come out ready to nail your routines. And if you need help with competing, be sure you get help. There's so many great people out there that are available to meet with you and help you with maybe the mental part of competing. But the biggest thing to do is just not to panic. It's important to stay at peace, have joy, work hard, and just know that lots of recruiting will happen in January and all the way through your senior year. Right now, there's a lot of unknowns in all the sports based on this lawsuit. So we don't know exactly what the future is going to look like, but we do know in the sport of gymnastics, skills, scores, and start values are the key to recruiting. So I'm also going to be big on this month talking about setting SMART goals. So I think this is the time to do it. You still have 3 or 4 months before you compete, and now's the time to set those goals. And it's really important that we talk about that and that you hold yourself accountable to that. But remember, recruiting is not easy. It's actually takes up, several hours a week of your time. You need to have a plan in place. You need to have some accountability. And if you need some encouragement, that's what we are at JH Consulting. We'd be happy to jump in and help guide you in any way. So contact us at jhicksconsulting.com. Click on Get Started, fill out the forms page, and an advisor will give you a call within 24 hours. So make it a great day and just keep working hard and staying positive on your specific goals for the college recruiting process.